Hello Commander, Spacebase Startopia, a blend of construction strategy and economic simulation, has just launched. You take on the role of a commander of a space station, attracting aliens willing to pay so you can empty their digital wallets. It's all about energy. Energy you need to place your buildings, to hire your staff, energy you siphon from your customers to finance all these things, to build a wonderful, beautiful, large and very, very fun space station. In the background, a few images. You are with WBW Writing Bull. If you've watched this crash course video, you'll know exactly what to expect from the game and have a few tips and tricks on how to play it well yourself. There are 3 decks on board. A basic deck where we take care of the fundamental technical things. An entertainment deck where people are entertained, where they get things like discos, loot boxes, batteries, gaming areas, and spectacular entertainment facilities. We create beautiful biotopes like those from their homeworlds here, and also extract resources for making other things. Sometimes it can also happen that some competitors send enemies over to us, or acts of sabotage are carried out. But at its core, it's a very family-friendly city-building economic simulation game. There are also some real-time strategy elements, but they're not the main focus. It's not primarily a military game, but one where you should and can have a lot of fun building things up. The game also runs on mid-range PCs, and it's coming out for PC, for various other platforms, for Windows PC, for Mac, for Linux, for PlayStation 4 and 5, for Xbox, and also for the Nintendo Switch. The single-player campaign provides at least 20 hours of single-player experience in the campaign, depending on how you play. If you take your time, it can be much more and last longer. Then there's also a free play mode, where you can compete against the AI or play alone and build the space base of your dreams, gradually unlocking more and more buildings through technologies you research. The game has 2 multiplayer modes, including a cooperative one. You can experience everything in here together, even with 2 people, with someone else, with a buddy, with a stranger, with someone from your family, with whoever you want. And there's a competitive multiplayer mode where you can have up to 4 people, where you compete against each other on a big space station. Behind every hatch that you open, you might run into one of your competitors, and their mechs could be the ones shooting at you. I'll show you all of that now.
Dear Fleshbags, aliens and androids, I am proud to present to you Spacebase Startopia. It's going to be breathtaking. What are you waiting for, Commander? The Spacebase Startopia never sleeps. Oh, before you unpack, can I see your valid boarding pass?
Yes, that was the narrator AI who really torments us in a very funny way, but also very brutally, constantly dissing us and tearing us down as the commander. The machines just look down on us, clumsy bags of flesh. Who can blame them? You can, if you want, let the voice run the whole time, but you can also say, yeah, okay, the text pop-ups from the narrator AI are enough for me. Then you would also have the option to go into the options menu and under select voice, either activate one of 2 female voices or a male one, or just click on none. Then you'll only read the text pop-ups the whole time. If I were you though, I would definitely start with the tutorials. The branches pay a little less than what you'll experience in the crash course. However, you can try everything out at your own pace. 5 tutorials are available to choose from. If possible, you don't have to play them in order. After that, the campaign. The campaign is available in 3 difficulty levels to choose from, the one in the middle, a slightly easier one, and a slightly harder one. And it picks up where the tutorial left off and keeps unlocking new game features, making the game gradually more complex. And after that, as the highlight in my opinion, there's the free play mode, where you can compete against AI opponents. If you click on Add Bot at the bottom, you can add up to 4 people. Or you can do it like we're doing now in sandbox mode. Without victory conditions, which we activate standard difficulty, simple conditions, we keep all the default settings so we can take our time and develop freely, unlock everything through technologies. I wish you a lot of fun with that, and let's get started. Welcome aboard our very first space station, our first Spacebase Startopia. Look back there, those are some mechanical helpers. They'll serve us faithfully, and that's what we're starting with. Later we can also learn how to make them, but at the beginning we can't do anything yet. Basic rules in the game. Everything, absolutely everything can be right-clicked, then you'll get an info window with additional information. And on the other side, right here, the first tourists are gradually coming in. Look back there, a space shuttle. It dropped them off, here they come, they belong to different species. A right click on a Druid Jade, for example, she might soon be working for us in the Biodeck. We can also recruit our employees from among our visitors. There you can see what needs she has, what we should take care of. And whenever she visits a facility somewhere, she pays for it as well. Up here is the energy. She has 75 energy. That's relatively little. These are budget tourists. Later on, we'll attract more expensive tourists. The better the ratings people leave for us, the more people will be attracted later on. With ever-increasing needs for which we have to build ever more expensive facilities, we'll start building first. The build menu can be found up here in this box, a bunk here. There you can either use a pre-made blueprint. There are 3 different sizes and you can set everything up ready-made. Or we can do it manually and with attention to detail. Go to the bunk and then to free build and drag. Here near this duct fan, which connects the 3 floors, click once to place a bunk, then drag it out. Medium size, we confirm that here. Then first of all, we also need to place a door. People need to be able to get in. We can also place multiple doors. We place a door up there near the duct fan. You can see a yellow indicator showing what the queue looks like. The arrow where it ends, that's the door where people enter. And if we haven't built enough doors or don't have enough facilities inside or haven't set up enough bunks, huge queues can form. A door placed here and a second one, we'll put it down here, because here we're going to build other facilities for our employees and they should also have a short way, so we put a door here. Then we'll put something to eat and drink here, a few chocolate replicators for food, and a few slushing machines. By the way, the basic rule is you can build everything very close together. You don't necessarily have to leave space in between. There's only one situation where that could really be a problem, and that's when we're trying to defend ourselves with mechs. They actually need space between the individual things we place here. We can place that anywhere we want, it takes up very little space. Let's build 2 of them, then we'll place 2 slushing machines next to them using the middle mouse button, with the mouse wheel. If you rotate it, the entrance rotates as well, and we'll place 2 more of those. There are also stasis chambers which must be mounted on the wall. They can't go anywhere else or in the middle. Place one here and put a second one next to it. And then we'll add a few hydrocleans, they need a lot of space. They make sure people can clean themselves. They have an entrance, one in the front and one in the back, and that's pretty good to start with. We'll confirm that now. Click down there. Now everything is being built here, and later we can place more items in here or make new cabins. And now a large amount of energy has been deducted from what we've stored. And the fuzzies rush over and finish the construction. Next we want to build a fuzzy charging station because the fuzzies also need to recharge their energy. Right-clicking on it shows us how it gradually decreases. They regain energy by occasionally visiting a fuzzy charging station like this. We'll place it up here in the front, and one is enough to start with. That's all we can build at the moment, which is a bit little. We want to unlock a few more things, and we can do that through prestige. It's a currency in the game. Look up there, prestige is a pseudo-currency. For every positive review from one of our visitors, we get an extra prestige point. People leave these reviews here, look up there. Station rating, there's social media here too. The platform is called Spitter, Space Spitter, where they leave their reviews. There are currently people from 3 alien species or 3 alien races on board, and if we select I, hover over the info, we can see that they've left a positive review at the moment. That from the Telgoran, the first 5 out of 8 possible levels are reached. The more levels are green, meaning they are unlocked. The more energy people have when they come on board, the more energy they can also lose. However, for us, their needs also increase. With the Bagratorians, 3 levels are unlocked. We also had 3, and the others don't have any yet. We can also filter here. If we click on the Telgoran, we can display everything only for the Telgoran. If we want to know where the issues are, we click on the negative, the red smiley, and see that there are still some problems here. Trash mostly. We need to find a way to get the trash collected. How do we do that? We now have 65 prestige points and we go up to research. With prestige points we can unlock research. The more prestige points we have, the more research projects we can unlock. This is sorted into new categories, into the categories of tourist classes. We're at Space Truckers, and some of these still have those padlocks on them. I'd really like to unlock a trash butter, so click on it down here. We need 25 prestige, but we'll also get a bonus of 3000 energy on top of that. Once we've unlocked that, we'll click on the second column in the build menu for the first time. The first one is for rooms, the second one is for objects, which stand alone in the middle. And now we've unlocked the trash bin, and that's where our fasces throw in the trash they pick up. We'll place one trash bin down here, we'll place another one back here. You can change them later and place them somewhere else, the ones that the fasces are building now. Let's go back in. The air will probably get worse soon here. Look over there on the left, there's a filter for O2 atmosphere quality. Let's click on that. And where it's red, the air is worse. Where it's blue, it's still good. People will start complaining soon about what you're going to do. We're going back into the research screen and unlocking it. Atmosphere filters, these ones here, 25. We're spending prestige. We get 3000 energy here and can now place it here as well. We're going back into the build menu, then into objects, and then into the atmosphere filters. If possible, we place them where the atmosphere is already red and bad. One is placed here and another one for the future down here. No need to worry if you think, oh god, maybe I want to move everything later. Everything in the game can be relocated later. How does that work? Right click on it and then you'll see the option to pack it up down there. Please select deconstruct. We click on it and then we pick it up. Then we can place it somewhere else, for example on another deck, or just put it back here, activate it once and place it here again, all with the left mouse button. Right click on it and it will be unpacked by us, always in the same spot. Or set it down somewhere else again. It doesn't cost us any more energy, but it does have to be paid for again. And these trash bots standing here, they gradually fill up. The fasces collect the trash, bring it here. And when the trash bots are full, they take themselves over to the recycling station, which we haven't built yet either. Until then, we can also empty everything manually. That costs us but gives us energy. But they can't find a destination to run to. That means they urgently need a recycling station like that. We're going back into the research area. However, recycling stations are only available starting from the Wanderer level. That means we would first have to unlock all of this area here, this category. We have 40. We can easily collect the prestige points, go, unlock it once, and now we can proceed. A few things are already unlocked now, like the medical station and the factory, for example. But we definitely want the recycling station, which is here. We'll unlock that separately now as well, and now we can build it. We'll go into the build menu at the top. Now click on the recycling station and place it far away from tourists because it creates really bad air. We'll place it here in the corner. That's where it should be. It will now be built for our people, and this is also an opportunity for us to generate money right away. Because everything that is brought here as garbage and then recycled by our employees gives us energy. Speaking of employees, we don't have any yet. Up here, it's lighting up accordingly. Do you see this alien warning sign? We need Telgor, that's the species that can work on such projects, and we recruit them from our visitors. We go to the top left in the middle to our units here. It shows all employees and all visitors, everyone we have on board, everyone. And those are the ones up front here. We need Telgor, these are the ones. Let's filter, click on the Telgor. Now only the Telgor are shown to us. And let's look for people who are really well qualified. There are two characteristics. The skills, which means the higher the value, that's one option. Not just 1 or 2, 3, 4, maybe 9. The better they are at their job, especially important when it really matters and the job needs to be done well. With doctors, for example, with physicians, it depends on whether they can heal or not. Let's take that. There's another value, dedication. The higher it is, the longer they work in their job, until they say, oh God, I need to take a break. One way to keep both values high, we can also sort that, and I'll take people who at least have a reasonably good dedication value. And on the other hand, we also pay attention to the energy value. Rule of thumb: the less energy people still have on board, the sooner they'll disappear again, and then you can also recruit them. As an employee, you hire them once, then their energy is full again. They got energy from us when they were hired, and now we'll get one of the better ones here. They do have a lot of energy, but at least we'll have one with a good dedication value. And then we'll unlock another value here and hire 3 Telgor and then a 4th one here. That one is already grayed out, it's already disappearing, and now this one is disappearing too, but we can still hire him here. And now they're coming here and filling up some of the jobs, and whatever trash ends up there, they'll take care of it. If trash is lying around like that, you can just left click on it. And if you have a vacuum cleaner, then we collect the trash, we hold it down, then everything is gone, deliver the trash. Click here once, left click inside, right click on it and hold, and all the trash is inside. And then they have something they can use and our energy increases. We keep drawing more and more energy out of people's digital wallets. The energy storage is getting fuller. So far we haven't even introduced the really cool things that bring in really high returns. We'll put those right into the fun deck. We have 3 decks on board: the sub deck, the bio deck, and the fun deck. If you take a look with me at the mini-map up top, you'll see in the upper left corner of the screen that the space station looks like a donut. We can expand horizontally, and in terms of depth, the 3 decks are arranged one below the other. We're all the way on the outside in the sub deck, in the middle are the fun decks, and all the way inside are the bio decks. This way we can expand horizontally if we need more space. That was opening one of those bulkheads which are on every deck. Right click on it, spend 10,000 energy in this case. Bulkhead opened, and now we have even more space to expand. Attention, of course this also means there are more opportunities for people to leave trash behind or consume oxygen. Let's go over there, but this time let's jump into biotech. The other people who are visiting us would have to use the tube lift. That applies to visitors, employees, and also to the FASs. We can just do it with a click. You see, and the Fandex has different biomes, 9 in total, from different planets, different climate zones, and typical plants for each, which produce different resources. This is a lunar landscape. A right click on a crystal tree shows us that it produces fibers. We click on harvest and there you go. There are 2 fibers, but the tree is destroyed. Of course, I would have preferred to harvest the tree in a way that I get the fibers but the tree remains. A simple way is to hire dryads like this one. They are specialized to work here, so just hire them directly here and now they work for us. We can also hire more dryads by going to the unit list, filtering for dryads, and then hiring a few more. And make sure that they work for us. All of them will now go over and harvest the plants whenever necessary, and the resources that are produced here can either be collected manually with the vacuum, just hold down the mouse button, or the FASs will come over, collect them, and then bring them over to the cargo bay. Provided we had a cargo bay. The cargo bay is on the subdeck and we first need to unlock it through research. It's up here and it's on the left. There are 2 requirements for the cargo bay. First, we need 30 prestige points, which we have, and second, we need to have collected 5 resources, which we also have right now. That's great. We unlock it and get 3,000 energy as well and place it now. The cargo hold is one of the few buildings that can only be built on the walls. Let's go into the build menu, and next we'll build a cargo hold up front here. Careful, this only works on these walls here. It doesn't work on the bulkheads like this one, because those can be removed again. At some point you won't be able to build things like that onto bulkheads. The FASs are all coming over now and making sure the cargo hold gets finished. After that, they'll automatically bring everything there. We can also store what we already have here now. Click once, twice, or hold down the left mouse button, and then everything will be in there. The next thing I'd like to unlock in research is the factory. We go over here and the factory is on the left. That's the cargo hold. This is the factory. 3 resources need to be collected and stored so we can unlock the factory, and we need 60 prestige in factories. That's where those resources are used to make nice things. Later we can also produce FASs there ourselves. That will of course help us a lot with a large space station so that everything works well here. Let's go over to the biodeck again and see if it's actually diverse enough in terms of biomes. I don't think so. We almost only have moon landscape and 2 small patches of other biomes. We have 2 options for how we can add other biomes so that everyone feels comfortable. We can also buy shots here again, right-click on it and open shot. Now the landscape is added, and depending on how it looked before, we can look through the windows. More biomes will be added then. We can also set biomes manually. For example, if you know we need a biome where there are oxygen plants or food plants, add the corresponding one via terraforming. Just left-click, for example, on forest meadow or on rainforest. Rainforests provide medicine, which you need in medical stations. Then make the terraforming brush a bit bigger up there. Now we can transform some of the abundant lunar landscape here into other biomes, which doesn't cost us any energy. The plants that are here will keep growing, and later when they're gone and there's new space, new plants will be added. However, we can also make our visitors happy in other ways, for example, by letting them walk through a biome that reminds them of their home world. That way their need for nature is satisfied, or we place a terrain type where everyone feels comfortable. That's water, which means when terraforming, we first raise and lower the land, use a big brush, and just lower some areas a bit. I did that with the left button, that's raising, or with the right mouse button, then it's lowering. We're making a hole in the landscape. That also doesn't cost any money or energy. Go to the water symbol, hold it, move the mouse up and down a bit, and adjust it as we like, then click once with the left button. Then a pond is placed where everyone will feel comfortable. And back to the subdeck. Things are busier now with more tourists arriving on our space station. There's already a long line. We see the center of the screen. It's much too long. People are packed together. The bunk needs to be expanded. The bunk we set up is actually big enough, but there aren't enough facilities inside. But we can change that in the usual way. Everything can be right-clicked and changed. The button down here is Edit. Then we're in this concept view. From there, we can place additional items. You can set up a few stasis units. You can also set up a few hydro-clean devices, a few chocolate replicators, and a few slushy machines. And then basically all needs are taken care of. Once confirmed, the fascists will build it first, and of course it costs energy. How can we construct things anew? Yes, through a factory. We want to unlock that now as well, so let's go into the research screen and look around in this area. That's the factory. We can unlock it, conditions fulfilled. 5 resources collected, stored, prestige is sufficient. Unlock it once. The factory can now be built in the usual way. Go into the build menu. There's the factory now, it's available here, and it can produce entire rooms. Or it has these resource crates, these cuboids, where resources or other things are stored. We'll place it here, the factory far away from the tourists, because it smells really bad and stinks a lot. In other words, it uses up a ton of oxygen. The fascies rush over and build it. There's another way we can get things, and that's through the shop. Look up there at the very top, World Shop. The offers change every 2 minutes. And if we have enough prestige points, including energy, we can buy really cool things out of turn. For example, in this case here, trash terminators that destroy trash. These are anti-trash bombs. I'll buy one as a test. One costs us 40 in prestige points and is now down in the quick storage bar. If you find a lot of trash somewhere and set off a terminator nearby, the trash is gone. We can also use it to get rid of vermin. Take a look here. Vermin appear when there's a lot of trash. A little tip, near these oxygen devices, you can see their area of effect. Never vermin. We can pick up the vermin manually, just click on it now. Or we use one of these trash terminators, place it here, unpack it with a right click, and all the vermin and trash nearby are gone and cleaned up. Now let's take a look at what options the factory offers us. We click on it once, and here you can see you can expand this. The basic producible objects are all of these here. For example, up here are circuits, which are a basic component, a prerequisite, an intermediate product for many other things. And everything you can produce consumes resources. In this case, we need 2 minerals to be able to produce a circuit. Let's click on it. It appears right away here in the factory. The resources you need are immediately beamed there from the cargo hold. Fascies don't have to bring them there first. We can also set up a queue, and if we have enough minerals later, the second one will also be produced. Later on, you can even manufacture entire buildings here. There are 4 of these categories for what you can do, and what I find especially cool is that you can also produce more fasces in certain quality levels. However, the ability to do that has to be unlocked through research later on. Now I've unlocked a communication center for us, built it right away in research, and also immediately recruited the staff for it. Those are Bacrothorians. They're these bugs you see with the long antennae, sensitive creatures who are able to receive all radio transmissions as staff members of the communication center. From space, great opportunities sometimes pop up as events, chances to get extra energy by taking offers or making choices. That makes the game more complex, and we also become more successful as a result. However, what we absolutely still need for success. The discovery deck, we still have a discovery deck and nothing is happening there. Take a look at that. Let's jump over to the discovery deck and take a closer look at it. And you see it's absolutely empty, and we're going to fill it now. Next, first we want to vacuum up the trash. You don't need to use the left mouse button, but I find it neater. Then we go into the research menu, unlock this section, and for the next step with the migrant workers, we unlock the space disco within the migrant workers. Here it is up top. We met the requirements, and now we're building the first one in the build menu into the space disco. The very first time we built it. You remember the bunk? We placed that manually and put everything in manually. Now we use one of the pre-made blueprints, activate it and place it however we like. Maybe with the door facing the tube lift so people can get there quickly. And it's still very important to click the confirm button at the end. And now our fussies will come and build the part. However, we also need employees, or rather, employees need to run into the units list for that. We need the Celebrama for this. And let's listen to a few right away. We have some good ones on board. There are musicians, dancers, and entertainment-addicted aliens who will love working for us and will fire up the others in the disco. What do you mean? What? I didn't understand at all. It's so loud here. The Celebramas, the Celebrama women are partying here, exactly, heating everything up. They're out and about as animators, as DJs. And look at the dolphin. Do you see that big dolphin in the center? There's another one. Those are our security guards. Because sometimes pickpockets or other criminals cause trouble here, for example. Let's go over to the subdeck and take a look. In the meantime, I've built a security station. Look, it's up here and it's providing some relief. It makes sure that criminals can be caught and that our people don't unsettle our guests. Right-click on it and it shows us the option to produce mechs, or mechs as big fighters who stand up for us here. Each has specific production requirements, and you make those items in the factory. And they have certain resistances, meaning defenses against specific types of attacks, and they also have certain weapons where they are especially strong, and so on. Then up here in the middle, look up there, there's a bot interface, and we can also deploy regular security drones and have them fight if a problem arises. However, the mechs are better, there's already a problem appearing. Well fought, take a look down here. Intruders are coming in, they might be space pirates, you can see them here. And we're going to deploy our people here right away, but those of you with a peaceful nature, don't worry. Of course, there are combat elements here in certain missions in free play, if you activate it, but it doesn't necessarily have to be part of the player's experience. It's also not like you're going to completely destroy each other in multiplayer mode, in the sense of a war game. You're not advancing with fronts and shooting everything to pieces, but rather you use it for defense against sabotage units, neutrals that the AI sends, just situations where you're simply unlucky, where some space pirates show up during certain events or are sent after you as saboteurs by the competition. You can do the same thing yourself, just right-click on this. A sabotage, you can carry out different sabotage actions. You can spend energy and then send inspectors to neighboring companies that are also trying to get their customers on this space station. You can place energy drainers on other people's facilities so that energy is discreetly siphoned off again and again. They can do the same to you too. And there are many other sabotage actions included as well. You can also create teams of security drones, send emails and so on, giving you a completely different gameplay experience compared to the regular building game, if that's what you want. Yes, that's it for this crash course on Spacebase Startopia. I haven't shown everything yet. There are still a few things that are really important, for example research. Later in the game, you can build research labs and then upgrade individual buildings as well as units in several stages. Have fun playing it yourself. Spacebase Startopia. Good luck, Commander.